All right, guys, so I've said this many times on the channel already. I grew up a Pixar kid. Those were the movies that really made up my childhood, not even Disney animation. It was mostly, if not exclusively, Pixar for me. That being said, that doesn't mean there aren't other non-Pixar films that have very special places in my heart. I'm talking about animated films in particular, obviously aside from the Star Wars and Marvel films, but I'm talking about films like The Emperor's New Groove or some classic Disney animated films, remember watching Tangled and all those other films. And one such film or series of films that has always has had a special place in my heart was the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. I remember growing up watching the first couple films when I was much younger, and the third film I watched recently, it came out I think in 2020, something like that. And I'm going to admit I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first two films. The first two films are just spectacular. I love them, especially the first one. The first one will always have a very special place in my heart. So when they announced they were going to be doing a live action How to Train Your Dragon, I was interested. I was intrigued because I was wondering, how are you going to approach this in a way that makes it feel true to the spirit of the source material? Actually, the other question just being, what is the source material? It seems like it's going to be the movie, not the books, because, you have Gerard Butler coming back as Stoic. I think that's his name, Stoic. And so Hiccup's father. And so it seems like they're just going to adapt the movie rather than the book. So it's, that was a question that I had. And also just what the point of this really is, is there a point to it? And I've asked this question before on the YouTube channel with regards to the Disney live action remakes. And some have been more successful than others, obviously. Lion King, Aladdin, Jungle Book, but I think all for very, very different reasons, right? And so I was very curious to now see DreamWorks taking a stab at making a live action How to Train Your Dragon film. So the first trailer has just released. And I have to say this. I have to say it really did tug at my heartstrings for a few reasons. Number one, nostalgia. It looks so faithful to the animated film. And the animated film, like I said, has a very, very special place in my heart. I was wondering, are they going to go a little darker? Just because it's live action, you have Vikings and dragons. How realistic are you going to be? What is Toothless even going to look like? Is he going to look more just like a traditional dragon that's maybe kind of meant to be cuter in this world? They fully just took the CGI Toothless from the CG animated How to Train Your Dragon and put him into the live action. And honestly, if that's the aesthetic they're going for, also the guy that's playing Hiccup looks exactly like the animated model of Hiccup. Stoic, is his name Stoic? I don't remember. Anyways, Gerard Butler's character, the dad, looks exactly like he does in the movie. And I was just watching the trailer. I heard the music at the end as well, and it just took me back. I was so heartwarmed is a weird word to say here, but I felt really, I don't know, it just felt so warm and fuzzy inside because I was like, this is awesome, Now, on the other hand, the more cynical side of me, which hopefully doesn't come out too much on this YouTube channel, but the more cynical side of me goes, okay, so then back up. Let's go back to our original questions here. So we have our answer. What is the source material? The source material is obviously the movie because the original movie was very loosely based on the book series that was very popular. I remember reading those books when I was younger as well, but very loosely, mostly just in name and characters only. Those books have, there are many, many of those books, and they've gone on to have all sorts of different stories. So just very loosely based on the books. But it looks like this movie, the live action remake, is going to be very squarely focused on the animated film. I believe, I could be wrong. Is it the same director who did the animated films? I believe so. So this is literally just going to be a remake of that film. And then the next question being, how much of a remake is it going to be? I think we have our answer to that as well. It's almost going to be, just again, based on the trailers, it's almost going to be a shot-for-shot remake. The iconic shot, right, of Hiccup holding out his hand and then turning his head away as Toothless's head goes into it, right? I mean, that's just a direct shot. Obviously, I said the character designs look the exact same, and Toothless looks the exact same. So it has me wondering a little bit, right? What is the point of this movie? This is, again, the more cynical side of me coming out. And the more cynical side would say, well, make money, right? I mean, whatever demographic wasn't coming out to see the animated films because they thought they were kids' films, which, by the way, they are really fun kids' films, but, it's dark. Hiccup loses a leg in the first film. So, yeah, they get pretty dark. But maybe whatever demographic wasn't going to come out for an animated film, and then the nostalgia factor, and, they think, because I believe those films made within the range of $400 million or so. I could be wrong about that. So maybe they're like, this will bump us up to $800 million. I don't know. That's just the more cynical side of me, talking. Because, again, I appreciate that, we're going back to a franchise that I love very dearly and has been, very successful as well. But I also am wondering, why make it literally shot for shot again? Maybe you could just, do a little bit something different. And again, this is only based off of maybe a minute and a half of trailer footage. So who knows? Who knows, right? We'll have to see. But based on my first impressions, like I said, the vast majority of me is very excited because it was just a heartwarming trailer. It was great to see these characters back. I love it, and I hope that this is just as good, if not better, than the original film, honestly. There is a more cynical angle to take as well, but honestly, for now, just because this is such a short teaser trailer, I'm not worried about it that much at all. So guys, let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of the first live-action trailer for How to Train Your Dragon? Let me know if you're excited, if you're nervous, or if you have fond memories of the original animated films. Let me know in the comments down below.